everyone. Welcome to episode 94 of the GrowCast Show. I'm your host, Kelly. And today I have with me Mr. David Hwang, Senior Associate Divisional Director. How are you today?
Very good, thank you. Nice meeting you, Kelly.
Nice, great. Well, let's dive straight into the asking your questions.
Sure.
Okay, flexibility in the real estate market, investments. You should know, right, about this?
I think it's very important. When I look at flexibility, I look at two things. In terms of investment or investor, I think what happens is that you look at whether it's flexible enough for you to exit after you've bought a property, right?
Yeah.
That is important because if you're buying at a very, very high price in your own district, then that makes exiting very difficult.
True.
So the other flexibility I'm looking at is also flexibility of adjusting your living space, right?
Okay.
I think nowadays we look at a lot of new launches because of the prefabricated way of building, which is a lot faster. But I think if you look at it all, it doesn't allow you to reconfigure your walls, reconfigure your living space and stuff like that. So if you have that factor in, I think it will help tremendously. So flexibility, I feel for investors is always very important because then you can adjust to your lifestyle as you go along at different stages of life.
When would be the best time to buy a new launch condo?
I think a new launch condo, looking at it right now, there are certain timelines for a developer when they want to launch a new condo. When they do launch a new condo, then of course they want to make use of a certain construction loan.
Right.
So for the bank itself, construction loan will normally be around about, they will require the developer to have around about 30% sales.
Oh, okay.
So in order to hit that 30% sales, initially, developers normally will not hike their prices up too high. They will give a very sensible, realistic market price so that sales will move. I think because of that, I think when you check out how the movement is, genuinely, I think within the first 30% of sales, prices will be very, very sensible. So I think that will be the best time for you to enter the market, select your unit, and also at that phase, the whole project is open for you to select.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can really select whatever you want. And that is something that is tremendous because you know how quickly houses has been taken up right now. Right. So there is a strong demand. But for Singapore, our supply is quite limited because you can't build houses in a flash.
Right.
It takes 3-4 years for you to complete building a condo project. And that's the reason why the supply is very inelastic, right?
Okay.
But our demand is ever increasing. So yes, it will be good to go in for a new launch at the first stage, and that would be probably the best timing for you.
Presently, the interest rates are going down, right? Trending down.
Yeah.
So how would this benefit you?
Actually, again, we go back to the supply and demand. Now, if the interest rate was high, most of the time, buyers will say, hey, wow, interest rate high, it's going to be expensive to buy, right? Now, if the interest rate is trending downwards, and I think you're targeting to have another rate cut probably by end of the year. So when you have that in place, that means that right now interest rate is trending down. And when that happens, when you have limited supply, and you got demand that is there, still very strong, prices would go up. Right? When interest rate goes down, the demand actually increases. And when that happens, right, prices will tend to go up because developers are also very smart people. When they see strong demand, they will start to increase their prices as well.
Right.
So I think generally from that sense, your interest rate going down would normally create more demand in the market for properties.
Right. So from this perspective, right, should you then go for a new launch or a resale? Which one would suit you better?
Personally, for me, I mean, everyone's different, right? Depends on what their angles of investment is.
Yep.
But looking at just new launch right now, if you go in new launch, everybody starts off at the same line, right? For example, right now, if you do enter the market and buy a condo, around about $2,000 per square foot, right? Everybody's around that price. Right? So in 4 years' time, when the condo is ready, you get your house, you will not sell lower than that.
Right.
right? You want to make a bit of profit, then you'll sell it slightly higher, stuff like that, right?
Right.
Now, if you look at a resale, now if you to enter the market maybe 10 years later than the first sale, so those people that bought the unit firstly, they will enjoy a lower price, right? Now, if you do enter maybe 10 years later because of inflation, because of increase in prices, you definitely would have bought it higher than the initial buyers, right?
Right.
So if you were to sell at a profit, generally your profit margin plus your price of the original purchase would definitely be higher than the owners that first bought it. So when the prices are lower than your expected price, you wouldn't sell. But the previous owners that own it for 10 years already, they can sell at a much lower price and still make a good profit. So your time to market for your property would be a lot longer.
Right. What if you can pick a better location? Would you choose that property? Would you take action? And
For sure. I mean, I am also an investor myself because I really think that, within my investment portfolio, property is one of the most stable ones, right? So looking at that, now if you're to enter the market right now, if you'd be surprised, in Lentor, your probably transacted price right now is around about 1.5 million to 1.6 million.
wow, okay.
Yeah, for a two-bedder. Right. Now, if you were to look at that price and you say that, hey, now there's a new launch coming up, and this new launch for a two-bedder is also about 1.5 to 1.6 mil. Now, which one would you choose? Would you choose somewhere that's further away, right, or somewhere that's closer? Now, in Singapore, I think when I mean closer, it means that closer to CCR, the core central region, right? So if you are towards the core central region, normally that is really what everybody hopes to attain, the dream home inside this sort of area like River Valley, Orchard, So these are some of the very esteemed sort of locations. So if the same price, really, which one would you pick?
Of course, the one in the central area lah.
Totally agree.
Yes, definitely. But do you see property prices coming down soon? Do you believe in that?
Well, it's personally for me, it's a bit difficult right now. I mean, if you look at, we discussed about interest rate.
Yep.
If interest rate does go down, right, demand goes up, prices will tend to move up as well.
Right.
So that's one. But on the other hand, we look at the cost pressures of building a new condo. Just take for example, I'm painting my condo right now.
Yep.
And I'm the MCSC chairman for my condo. My gosh, it's 50% increase over the last painting of the building.
Wow, 50%. Oh,
that's a lot. It's a six-figure, and it's not a small sum. Now that is just one part. That's painting.
Right.
Now, if you look at other parts of building a new condo development, you've got land cost that's been creeping up. You've got, I think recently you saw the news, right? Chuan Grove.
Oh, yes.
1376 PSF PPR. My gosh. And that is Chuan area, You're not even talking about central region.
Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about central region of Singapore, that price would definitely be higher, right? So looking at that, land cost is a big component.
Yep.
Then you have your construction cost, your steel, your sand, your bricks, stuff like that. And another big component is the labor. Do you see the labor cost coming down? Very unlikely, because the lodging, the support, the transportation of all this labor workforce, right, to the work site and back and all that, and the lodging is ever increasing. So that cost pressure is there, and I don't think it will come down. And that's why if you'll ask me whether in the longer run in Singapore, whether prices will dip, I think it might adjust, but it will not come down very much in the long run in Singapore.
Maybe stay a bit flat, but not really come down. It's that kind of...
Yes. I mean, our government is very effective, efficient as well, and then they will try to help to adjust and all that. But this is a world problem. It's not a Singapore problem.
That's
right?
true.
I mean, if you look at all over the world, I'm very familiar with Australia, but generally, if you look at all over the world, similar problems, right? Because it is the world problem, not only Singapore.
True. Yeah, I see that. Thank you so much, David, for your insights.
You're most welcome. Very, very nice chatting with you, Kelly.
Joan, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning. How are you, Kelly?
What are the phases of P1 registration?
Okay, for P1, there are currently 5 phases. So you have 1A, and then you have 2A, 2B, and then 2C, and 2C supplementary. Each one actually is something different. And one is, of course, the easiest because you have a sibling in the school.
Right.
2A is when, let's say, your parent is alumni, and or you have signed up with your church and you live within 1 kilometer. And then 2B is whereby your parent is a volunteer and you're a member of a church. Yeah.
Walk me through the 1 km distance. There are a lot of parents that will be curious about this and how this affects eligibility.
I think this one actually affects most of the schools that have limited places, like the good schools.
Okay.
So because of that, right, there is this, I would say, fight to get in.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, because you know the cohort, let's say there's only 200, means there's only 200 places.
Right.
So when you have different phases, what happens is that with a different phase, right, parents are only eligible for that phase. So MOE has basically changed some of these guidelines whereby parents can register for their children.
Okay.
So having a sibling in the same school, of course, it makes it easier logistically. Those whose parents have been to the school, they know their culture, they like the school, they want to put their kids back into the school. So there is also a clamor for places there. I think the most highly competitive 2 phases is the 2A and the 2B.
Right. And this is where the 1 kilometer
Yes.
Eligibility comes into play.
Correct. Because there is a difference if you are staying within 1 kilometer and if you are staying between 1 to 2 kilometer of the school.
How do you know if you are in the 1 kilometer or not? What if I'm in the borderline? I wouldn't know, right?
Yes, that's right. So a lot of parents, what they do is, you'll be surprised. Many parents actually start doing their checks when their kids are 4 years old.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, 2 years before the registration, mainly because this particular borderline can change depending on where they put the pin.
Right.
Yes, where they put the pin and then they tell you within this perimeter here is 1 kilometer. But to be fair, I think the safest way is to go to this portal called One Map School Query. This is where you actually can key in the school and see whether your house, your unit is within that 1 kilometer.
Right. So you key in the school, you key in your unit, your address.
Yes, that's right.
You check.
Yes. So, and every year it can change. Depending, because previous years, sometimes what they do is, there was previously where they put based on the center of the school. Then they change it to the edges, the perimeter of the school.
Right.
So whether you're within that 1 kilometer, you need to check just to be sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I can just go and buy a house and move in
Basically, yes.
Okay.
But then there is this 30-month rule.
Right. Walk me through that, yes.
Yes, so this 30-month rule is such that MOE will check that you actually have a legal address. That means both parents have to have that address as their legal residence.
Okay.
And they need to have it for 30 months, can be starting from just before they register and then for 30 months thereafter. Or if you buy a new launch, you can stay there for 30 months, let's say start of P1. They will still require you to stay that 30 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
This is legal binding. Yeah, because they actually can conduct checks to see if you're actually staying in that unit. Yes.
Okay. So parents can't just use any address in that 1 kilometer qualify, right? There's
No, because when you register your child, you have to submit both parents' IC. So when you submit the IC, they need to see that that is your legal address on your IC that shows you're within 1 kilometer. And anytime within the 30 months, they actually, schools and MOE have a right, if they suspect that that's not where you're actually residing, to actually do a check and see if you are actually staying there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happens when the child is already studying in the school and then you decide to move house?
If let's say you move and you move still within 1 kilometer, no problem.
Right.
So let's say you move from one address to another address, but the second address is still within 1 kilometer, it's fine.
Okay.
But if you move out of the 1 kilometer and you got your place in this primary school based on that factor, okay, that priority that was given to you, then actually the MOE has the right to actually transfer you to another school, which parents don't have a choice. That means they can transfer you to wherever. You cannot say, I don't want to move. They'll say, no, we're just going to move you to another school. So you have to forfeit that right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is quite strong actions against the parents if they try to.
Because I think a lot of us have the mindset that if we could just find a little loophole because we want to give our child a little bit of a leg up, you know. But MOE is very strict, because they understand that everybody will try to find some way around it. So that's why they have all these very strict rules as to who can qualify and what are the qualifying factors. And this is actually very important because it's a fair chance to everybody, to every child, you know. And MOE is also trying to say that every school is a good school. And that is important. That means to say, we also have to give the chance to the people who actually stay logistically closer.
Correct.
Right? I mean, you don't want your child to be traveling an hour just to get to school every day. Okay, that's really painful, especially when they start so early.
Yep.
So MOE has come up with these sets of rules. Once in a while, there's a little bit of a change, but if there is a change, right, it's always updated in the MOE website.
Okay.
So it's always good to check the year that your child is eligible for registration, which means to say when they are 6 years old.
Mr. Samuel Yo, Senior Associate Director, how are you?
I'm good, Kelly.
Is it worth upgrading now with high interest rates and cooling measures in place?
Okay, Kelly, actually, with the US and the China tariff and all that, right? I think most the market now is very fearful because there's a lot of uncertainty.
Okay.
And also, right, of course, last week, Uncovered imposed on the cooling measures for the SSD to be 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. So right now, there's a lot of uncertainty and noise in the market. But however, if you notice, right, the mortgage rate actually reduced.
Oh.
Yes. And if we go back to previous history, right, every time when mortgage rate goes down, people will come in to buy. Yeah. So I feel that it's a good time to enter the market right now.
That's the case, right? Then should I go into a new launch EC or buy a resale condo? What do you think?
Okay. For this question, right, I think it's a very good question. For Singaporeans, right, actually, EC, there's a lot of requirements. You need to be eligible for it.
Okay.
Yes, so it's not like you got money you can buy. So you need to fulfill the requirements from the HDB. Yes, and of course, if you ask me, right, I think EC new launch definitely in terms of returns will be much better.
So if I bought an EC condo that's going to TOP soon, right?
Yeah.
Do I need to sell my HDB?
Definitely you need to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for EC, right, actually there are two schemes lah. Normal paying scheme and also deferred payment scheme. So depending on which route you take. Okay, the good thing about EC is also because if you're able to choose the deferred payment scheme, you no need to sell your house so fast.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
how long?
Okay, so upon TOP, right?
Yep.
Within 6 months you can sell. Which means you will save the hassle of shifting to a new place while waiting for the EC.
Oh, okay.
TOP.
Right.
I think it's a very good point. Yes. Whereas you don't get it in new launch condos.
Right.
Most of the new launch condos.
So if I had a bridging loan, then how do I manage the repayments?
Okay, so for bridging loan, right, usually is used to bridge the gap between selling and selling of the HDB and also buying of the EC.
Okay.
Yes. So, okay, for this instance, right, you just need to make sure that before TOP, you sell your house and OTP is exercised.
OTP is exercise. So that's
Correct.
the key point.
Prior to that, you will need to make sure that your bridging loan, all that is already approved.
So this one is the bank side.
Yes, correct.
My current HDB is in a mature estate, right? With good value. Should I really sell it?
Okay, this is a very good question. I have a client who is also in this, who is in this situation right now. He has a HDB in Jurong.
Okay.
And he is having a very good yield, about 3.5% per year.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
So he also asked me whether, should I, since the market is good now, should I sell and upgrade to maybe a private UCCR area, which is freehold?
Right.
Yeah, but then I asked him, but the thing is, if that's the case, probably your yield will not be so high. Of course, you will have the stability lah. That's why I also proposed to him, maybe you should look at EC as well.
Okay.
Yes, so that good if he can able to go in to get the EC, having the capital appreciation, as well as he doesn't need to sell so fast.
If you don't have a lot of cash, right?
Yeah.
Can you still upgrade?
Okay, definitely. I think this is a question that most of us always wonder. So it's best that we can sit down with a real estate consultant like myself or my team. Then we will actually walk you through, help to crunch the numbers, and also to see whether is it a good time to upgrade.
So what I'm hearing is that actually the situations are very varied. And
Yes,
really you
correct,
need to
right.
know all the
Correct.
details before you can
Yes,
actually make.
we don't want to say that, okay, we just need to upgrade and things like that, and then you cannot sleep in peace.
Oh, right. Yes.
So
Peace
you
of
always
mind.
need to have a safety net.
Thanks for sharing, Samuel.
Hey,
That was
thank
so
you,
good.
Kelly.
Well, that brings us to the end of section 3 of the GrowCast show, except episode 94. See you guys in the next show. Cheers.